Hi and welcome. It's the Stampin' Sunday blog hop again, and it's a focus on Fauna this month, so please do go and check out all the other wonderful hoppers in this hop. An absolute plethora of very talented people, and I'm sure you're bound to get some wonderful inspiration from them. So I decided to have dragonflies as my main theme for a card and a decorated box. And so I went ahead and stamped and cut out a dragonfly from Dragonfly Garden stamp set, and also the sweet, hold on, let me get the right name, Sweet Sampler, which is in the back of the mini January to June catalogue. Actually, both these stamps are in there, and also the dies. So I added a little bit of Highland Heather ink just over the dragonflies that I'd stamped onto the Purple Posy cardstock, as I wanted just to add a little bit of softness and dimension to them. And then to the small dragonflies that were cut from with the dragonfly punch, again I just added a little bit of colour to the tips of the wings there, just to make them look a little bit more interesting. So the other colours that I used are Petal Pink, I used that for the flowers, and Granny Apple Green for all the leaves that were cut from the the pierced blooms. I keep saying stitched because they look stitched, but they're actually called the pierced blooms dies. And I decided to have like a high degree of contrast with this card and also the box. So I teamed it with that fabulous paper. Oh, it's just such beautiful paper from the what's that? It's that really lovey-dovey suite, which you wouldn't expect to have black and white paper in at all, but it's just fantastic. The True Love Designer Series paper. So to add a bit of added dimension, I decided to cut down some ribbon. So I tied the piece of ribbon in a knot, then cut straight down towards the knot, and then frayed the threads apart. Now I'm sure I saw this technique done by one of the other hoppers in a previous month and just stored it in the back of my mind to use for another day. So thank you, whoever that was. So here I am just sticking some of these leaves down, and as you can see I'm making a hot mess with this glue. First of all, the glue wouldn't come out, then I got too much out, so I'm trying to be very careful not to get glue all over my fingers, which to be honest I kind of did, but that's the beauty of me being able to speed this up and edit it a little bit before putting it out there. But yes, I do get glue everywhere sometimes. Some days it's great, sometimes it's not. Today was a not. So whenever that does happen, if you do get extra glue, just be very aware of where it is and try and use it on other places on your project, and quickly just get something stuck down so that you don't get your fingers in it. Yeah, that's my best advice basically. So I wanted to have a little tiny element down in the bottom right corner, as well as that kind of floral arrangement up in the top left, just so that the eye is drawn down to the bottom of the card a little bit. So I stamped and hand cut out 2 of these dragonflies from the Sweet Sampler, and I deliberately cut off 2 of the wings. And when you look at the actual image, it's kind of obvious which ones to cut out. It's the ones that sort of sit on top. And I deliberately used, I think it was 3 layers of dimensionals. I'm just going to look at my card. No, I tell a lie. It was 2 layers of dimensionals to add lift to those wings, because I thought it was just crying out for it, really. Then I toyed with the idea of perhaps using an additional dragonfly, but decided against it because it just worked having that one big focal point, and having a second one on there was just going to kind of ruin the look. It was going to be overcrowded, too many dragonflies on a card, so I decided against it. And that wink of Stella on the wings just, glitter gorgeousness, you know, at its best, really. It's so subtle and so pretty. So I put a tiny weeny little dragonfly in that corner, and of course had to wink of Stella it. It needed that little bit of glitter just to make it fly. You know, dragonflies need fairy dust too. And then here I am, literally smacking that wink of Stella against a brush handle to add some speckles across the card, which I don't know if you can see those on the camera, but they are definitely there and they look very, very pretty. So before it was too late, I remembered I hadn't put the ribbons in, so I very quickly lifted up some of the leaves and the flowers. Thankfully some areas were still a bit damp, so I was able just to get my pick tool and kind of shove it under and be quite forceful and get it under there and add some extra glue or dimensionals as needed to hold it into place. So don't be afraid to do that, you know, that's the great thing about quite layered cards, you can get away with doing that. So I decided also to cut down some of the ribbon because I didn't like how it was too equal, basically. I wanted different lengths, so that's what I did. So to decorate the box, I cut a rectangle piece to fit in on top of my kind of belly band that was going around the box. And incidentally, those acetate card boxes are available on page 152 of the annual catalogue, and they measure 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and they are about, well, they say 13/16 thick. So about 2.1 centimetres. And I think that would actually go through UK Post as a large letter stamp. That's all you would need for these. They would actually fit through a post box. Yay! So I decorated that panel and then decided to use up some of those extra flowers to put onto the card, and then wrapped that belly band around that acetate box and stuck it all down, stuck it all together. So it was such fun to do these projects. They're really just right up my street. So I'm so glad that Sarah chose Fauna for this month's hop, and the links to my blog post where you will see some lovely pictures and also the other hoppers will be in the description below. So please let me know what you think of this card. What surprised you? That's a question. There we go. What surprised you about the techniques used? Oh, by the way, I think I also used some of the leaves from the Delicate Petals. Oh, I don't think it's called Delicate Petals, but it's the die set that goes with the Delicate Petals stamp set. Lacy Petals. There we go. There were a couple of really gorgeous leaves that I used from there, and I cut those out of glimmer paper. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you've enjoyed watching me do this and it's inspired you to go and make something of your own. So take care for now, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye.